that's perfect. And I think like I like how you're touching on like the reality of the situation. Like in both aspects of what we do, like it's about holding a mirror, not only to, having people hold a mirror to their own faces, but we hold a mirror to ourselves as well. I think like what a lot of men need, men and women, is to really like dig deep and find their purpose. But it takes a lot of that darkness to be able to really understand it. You have to do some fucked up shit. You have to do things where you look back on yourself 5-10 years ago and you're like, oh my God, like how was I that person? But when you, especially with it being a part of finding your purpose, like I'm very lucky that like I found it a long time ago, right? Like, really understanding Jannah and my purpose with Jannah, like that was me at 12, 13 years old. But most importantly, that was also around the time when, I was first robbed at gunpoint, by 4 guys, barely 13 years old, sitting at a bus stop. It was a bus I took every single day in junior high all the time without any issues. And then 2.5 years later, all of a sudden, one day I'm taking it and then someone puts a gun on the right side of my chest, demands my phone, like, hey, hey, cuz, what you got there? Takes it from me, and the 4 dudes like run off, and I'm just, I still took the bus home. I had to call, tell my family about it and everything like that. But what helps me a lot, especially when like I want to give up, I want to go down that dark path, that's where the choice comes into our lives, right? We have a choice to just give up what we're doing. We have a choice to just stop at any point. But what I was alluding to even before we started recording was just like, but you kind of die if you choose not to, right? We wouldn't be alive without Mahalia. I wouldn't feel alive without Jannah. But most importantly, like when Jannah became really important in my life and when I discovered it, when I was granted its message, at the same time, I got mortality motivation. And that changed everything because at 13 years old, I was faced with death. Yeah. If I had responded differently in that situation, if I had done something stupid, I would have been...
Yeah, no, people like, I ain't giving you the phone. Like,
yep, exactly. And I resisted initially, right? Because I had no idea what was going on. I'm just holding it. And then all of a sudden, someone's just trying to snatch it from me. It took a couple moments for it to click. And when it finally did, I was like, dude, just take it. I understand that God and the universe presented me with that moment at such a young age when I wasn't even that kind of kid to be in that situation. Like, yeah, sure, grew up in the hood. Dad did some messed up stuff. But that mortality motivation changed everything. Because then at 13 years old, I realized that life is precious. Life is so short. We don't know what could happen to us at any moment. And most importantly, I had a story that I was willing to share. I had a truth that I was willing to share. And although I had tried my best to understand it and really like understand Jannah, it wasn't until after that happened that I was like, you know what, fuck this. Like, I'm not about to have something like that happen to me again. It potentially go down way worse. I get shot and killed. And I didn't leave something important behind on this earth. We want to help people in many ways, but in order to be able to help them, A, they have to help themselves, and B, they have to point that disgusting mirror at themselves. The same way we try, and we're not perfect. We fuck up, and we make misjudgments about our own character. We still make bad choices and decisions. Like, we're trying to do our best to like show people the light and really like, I don't know, help them find their own like truth.
It's like, no, we wanted to change this fundamentally. We want to change the system on a cultural and, fundamental level. We'd have to look at the place that we're most terrified to look in, and that is in the mirror.